Five Pieces for Orchestra, Fourth Movement by Anton von Webern. Do take a careful look at this title. Indeed, it reveals its genre. This is one of five pieces written for orchestra, therefore this is an orchestral suite. You cannot determine from the title, however, what the exact genre of this movement, the fourth movement of this composition, is. It is, in fact, a Klangfarben melody. And in fact, a Klangfarben melody is exactly what the word says it is, a Klangfarben melody. Okay, I'll give you a hand here. Let's take a look at this six-syllable German word, and you'll see that you could in fact determine what at least two elements of it mean. Let's take a look first at the last three syllables, melody. Well, you don't have to take a course in German to know that melody means melody. And you don't have to exert yourself greatly to determine, or at least to guess at what the first syllable might mean. Klang looks a little bit, or certainly could be pronounced like the English word clang, which is some sort of a sound. And in fact, it refers to a sound or a tone. Farben, I'm afraid, is something that you simply can't guess at. It means color. So taken together, this is a tone, color, melody. Now you already know what a melody is, so let's take a look at what is meant by tone color. Tone color refers to timbre. The two mean exactly the same thing. Timbre, the English pronunciation of a French word that means tint, refers to the specific sound of a certain instrument, voice, etc. Basically, it's a musical color. So the timbre of a trumpet, for example, is the sound that we associate with a trumpet. That of a violin is that which we associate with a violin. So the emphasis in compositions such as this is not on contrapuntal complexities. It's called a melody for the very good reason that the texture is generally monophonic, and so your attention is drawn both to the melody and to the instruments that are playing notes of this melody. A Klangfarben melody, or a tone color melody, therefore, is a composition in which the melody passes from one instrument to another. And since this composition is typical of von Webern's works, that is, it's exceedingly short, you have the entire score of this composition at hand. Please take a look at the music. Now, you don't have to be able to read music to appreciate what is going on in this composition. The score presents you with a melody, and if you take a look written above and below the staff, you will see the names of instruments that are assigned to play certain of the notes in the work. For example, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes are played by a mandolin. The next note is played by a muted viola. The next note is played by a clarinet. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 notes are played by a trumpet. The next 1, 2 notes are played by a muted trombone, etc. So what you see here is a perfect illustration of what you would observe in the performance of such a work. A melody would be presented to you, and you would see the melody played by one instrument after another in various parts of the orchestra. Now, the reception of this composition is pretty typical for that of von Webern's works during his lifetime, like that of his Symphony, Opus 21, which had its premiere in New York City in the 1920s. Von Webern labored over his compositions, choosing every note and every sound carefully. It's something that becomes obvious to anyone who studies his works carefully. But the results were not immediately appreciated by audiences of the time, especially on our side of the Atlantic. For the work in question caused a riot and drowned out the sounds of the orchestra, bringing the performance to an end. And one of the reviewers present at the performance said, "At least the work had von Webern's cardinal merit of brevity." Indeed, people, this piece is very short. You should have an opportunity to hear it more than once, and as you do so, you can meditate not only on this composer's short life and his short works, but also on what a Klangfarben melody is. All of these things will serve you well when you sit down to take the exam.